Now we have audio. Sorry about that. Okay. If you're just joining us, thanks for joining us. We're providing an update right now on the threat of a significant winter storm here across most of the state of Iowa. Uh, Looks like we may have something coming in here. I'm not sure what this is. Winter storm watch. Oh, that is not filling in correctly. We will fix that, won't we? All right. Well, as expected, as the National Weather Service offices where is my winter storm watch? There you are. There we go. Okay, so as the National Weather Service offices are updating their forecast, we have our first winter storm watch that has been issued for portions of Iowa. I'm going to make sure, hopefully, this will refresh in the ticker as well. There we go. Okay, so we do have our first winter storm watch being posted for this weekend storm. This will begin on Friday in northwest Iowa, and that is where the National Weather Service in the Sioux Falls has gone ahead and pulled the trigger on a winter storm watch. This was just issued 1 minute ago. It will remain in effect. It says for 8 hours. Realistically, this is for a storm on Friday. This is what their winter storm watch is. Heavy snow possible, total snow accumulations of 5 to 10 inches. Friday afternoon through Saturday evening. Travel could be very difficult to impossible across this winter storm watch area. Now, as the other weather service offices in Omaha, Des Moines, Quad Cities, and La Crosse began updating their forecasts, and as time passes, I would expect to see nearly all of the state filled in with a winter storm watch over the next 12 hours or so. That is because a powerful system, really 2 waves of snow are expected to come through beginning Friday in northwest Iowa, pushing across the state, reaching eastern Iowa late on Friday, probably well after 6 p.m. And overnight heavy snow across much of the state of Iowa from Friday to Saturday morning. We were hoping to get a break on Saturday, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case as another wave of snow pushes in through the afternoon and evening hours of Saturday and into the early morning hours of Sunday. And snowfall could be quite heavy. We'll get to that here in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the forecasted track of this. I'm going to go ahead and leave the watch up there right now and see. You'll see as it pushes in here. Oh, this is the wrong scan. There we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and skip this ahead. This is as of Friday eve or Friday afternoon. So this is around noon on Friday. You can see the snow beginning to push in from the west and increase in intensity and very quickly overspreading. This is about 6 o'clock on Friday evening, overspreading portions of Iowa. So pushing in quickly, a lot of moisture with this, some rather heavy snowfall rates possible. This is 9 p.m. on Friday, and this is midnight Friday night into Saturday. There you see heavy snow overspreading much of the area, and then pushing through eastern Iowa and further to the east. And there you see the second wave developing further to the south where more of the moisture is. And as that builds in, heavy snow then falls for much of central and southwest Iowa. And then that pushes through the day on Saturday and into the evening hours of Saturday, pushing into early Sunday morning. So this is going to be a long duration event. Essentially, it's 2 waves of snow with very little break, if any, in between. There will be some wind with this, and because of colder conditions and a little bit drier snow than what we saw a week or 2 ago, this will have a bigger blowing snow component to it. I don't think right now there's any indication that this is going to reach blizzard levels, but when they say travel could be impossible, they mean it because of the heavy, heavy snowfall that we're expecting over such a large area between, again, Friday and Sunday morning here in the state of Iowa. So let's go ahead and back up this again. We'll run this once again. This is Friday afternoon. And as we move it forward, you see as we move into the evening hours, this is midnight, Friday night into Saturday, heavy snow over much of the state of Iowa. And that continues to overspread, push to the east. And then another wave, this is right around midday on Saturday, pushes through the southeastern half of the state. And more heavy snow falls with that as well. So if we back this out, you can see the winter storm watch has already been posted for far northwest Iowa. That will run from Friday, I believe Friday through Saturday, Friday afternoon through Saturday evening. That's when the heaviest snow will fall in northwest Iowa. We're going to see this winter storm watch expand as the other National Weather Service offices begin issuing their advisories. I think right now we're just going to see that winter storm watch. It's possible by tomorrow and they may pull the trigger on this early, but easily by tomorrow morning, we should see winter storm warnings be issued, especially for northwest Iowa. And that is because right now it looks like the snowfall is going to be heavy. So how much are we talking about here? Well, this is, again, we're still several days out from this, but it does get underway here in about 48 hours. Let's go back to our map here now. And I want to look at the timing on this once again. I don't think... I'm going to switch over to one of our shorter range models and see just how far out it can get now that it's in. There you see, yeah, it's coming into our shorter range models and it is showing more of the same. This is, so this is noon on Friday. Noon on Friday, and you can see snow beginning to spill into the area, and you see it right there. Moderate to heavy snowfall over that winter storm watch area, and then very heavy snowfall as it intensifies, pushing into central Iowa, right on I-35. And I-35, anytime you get a significant snowfall and a little bit of wind, I-35 is a problem. Those north-south roads are certainly going to have a problem with staying open and staying passable, just because of the heavy rate of snow expected. And then also the duration of it as well is going to really put a drain on area road crews as well. So they're really going to need people to stay off the road. The less hassle they have to deal with, the less that first responders need to deal with, is going to be critical in getting these roads cleared off and reopened in time for work, school, and other activities on Monday, especially when we're also looking at bitterly cold temperatures behind this. We're going to have a fresh, heavy snowpack on the ground, cold air moving in, and all the conditions are right Monday and the early part of next week for some extremely cold conditions here. far earlier than I think we've seen many years recently here in Iowa. That's something we normally see in full force come late December or January. We're going to get it early this year, that's for certain. So again, here is what it looks like at midnight, Friday night into Saturday. You can see heavy snow overspreading much of the area, and certainly a concerning sight. I'm going to switch over to one of our highest resolution models and see just how far this has gotten into it. With any luck, this should get us out to when the snow begins to filter into northwest Iowa. And there you see it. Here we have late Friday morning. This is noon on Friday. You can see that snow overspreading the area. It looks like this one's overdoing it a bit compared to the other models, but the same pattern, the same track, the same timing, all of the models appear to be in pretty good agreement with this. And part of the reason for that might be because there is a lot of moisture involved in this storm system compared to most winter storm systems. And so that's making it much easier for the models to pick up on and forecast what they're forecasting right now. We do still have the wind advisory in effect. You see that scrolling on the bottom of the screen, along with the winter storm watch that's now in effect. Let me back out of the model here, and you can see that. This is where our winter storm watch is in effect for northwest Iowa. This will run from Friday afternoon to Saturday evening, I believe. This will expand through much of Iowa. The timing will be different depending on where you live. Snow is expected to begin in northwest Iowa, again, late Friday morning, Friday afternoon. It probably won't start till late Friday evening in eastern Iowa, but things will wrap up Saturday here in northwest Iowa. In eastern Iowa, it may be Sunday morning before things wrap up, because again, we're going to see 2 waves of snow pushing through here. Let's go back to one of our longer range models here. And we got to put the loop on. There we go. And so here we see this is going to be at about noon, or excuse me, this is at about noon on Friday. This is tailing a little bit behind. You see it still overspreads the area Friday afternoon into the evening. This is 9 p.m. on Friday. So if you have plans in eastern Iowa on Friday, that's the good news. Is Friday should be okay in eastern Iowa. Things are gonna be okay in western Iowa Friday morning, but by Friday afternoon, things are gonna deteriorate quickly. Friday evening, if you have late afternoon, early evening plans in eastern Iowa, you should be okay. But come 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening, that snow is gonna move in quickly, and by midnight, it is going to be heavy across most of the state of Iowa. Let's go ahead and move forward. This is midnight, Friday night into Saturday morning, and there you see a massive area of snowfall over most of the state of Iowa. Could be some mixed precipitation in far southwest Iowa. We'll have to monitor that as well. Now, as for people going out to the game, that's the little bit of good news. I believe the Hawkeye game, and if I'm wrong, somebody correct me in the chat, the Hawkeye game is in Lincoln at 11 o'clock Friday morning. Again, this is at noon on Friday. You see everything. Where is Lincoln? There we go. Lincoln is right here. There's Lincoln. Everything is clear in Lincoln for the game. Could see some mixed precipitation develop in the afternoon here. Very isolated, very scattered, hopefully not a major problem, especially if roads are treated. So if you're going to the game in Lincoln and you're going to try and get home afterwards, the good news is, as long as you're not going to northwest Iowa, you're going to be okay. This is 9 o'clock at night. So central Iowa, if you can get out of Lincoln right after the game, I think you're going to have a good window here to get home before the snow hits between 6 and 9 o'clock in the Des Moines to Fort Dodge area. But poor areas north and west of that are going to have a problem. People in eastern Iowa who are going to the game, you're also going to have a decent window here. Fortunately, the snow's not going to overspread Interstate 80 in any meaningful fashion until probably close to dinner time. So you'll have some time to get out of Lincoln. You'll have some time to get down the road on I-80 and hopefully get back to eastern Iowa in time before the snow really overspreads the area. Of course, this is all subject to change. This is still roughly 48 to 72 hours out. So this timing could change, and you're going to want to stay tuned to that in case you may need to call an audible after the game when it comes to travel. But right now, if you're going to the game in Lincoln and you're trying to get back to, say, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, you're probably going to have enough time to get home before the heavy snow hits. But if you are staying in Lincoln and you want to come home on the weekend, that's going to be a big problem. So if you're going to the game, best advice is, if you can, leave after the game. That's going to be the best window to get back before the heaviest snow hits, because again, this is going to be a long duration event. This is Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, late Saturday into Sunday. This is Sunday at midnight, and we still have some pretty light to moderate snow showers over central and eastern Iowa. This is going to be a long duration event. It is going to be a major pain on road crews because of that. From northwest to southeast, we're talking about snow falling over almost 48 hours. And so there may be some roads that may be impassable for a while if they become drifted in, because priority is going to have to go to those major arteries to keep traffic flowing. And the best thing you can do, especially Saturday into Sunday, is to stay off those roads so road crews can get everything cleared out before work, school, and other activities on Monday. Because come Monday, they're not only going to be dealing with the snow, they're going to be dealing with some very extreme cold. And as we know, the colder it gets, the less effective some of their treatment solutions are. So that is something that you'll need to keep in mind. The bottom line is, if you don't have to travel this weekend, just don't. From Friday afternoon to Sunday morning, if you can stay home, stay home. If you can stay where you are, that's great. But if you try and get home Sunday evening, it is still going to be problematic in some areas. Hopefully things will be improving by Sunday night, especially in northwest Iowa. But things could still be a little dicey in eastern Iowa, depending on the cold and the wind, as the snow really won't be exiting the area until probably early Sunday morning in eastern Iowa. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to share them in the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We do plan on having some live streams as the snow's falling. We do plan on having updated road conditions. You can see the map on the left side of your screen. We've got live streams coming in from Des Moines and Iowa City. We'll work to get more as well if we can. But it's going to be a big one. This one, I got to say, the models have done an excellent job with this. Several days out, they were forecasting this. The snow totals, as usual, were way too high. And that's why most people tracking this don't tell you about those snow totals, because they spark fear. I mean, anywhere from 15 to 20 inches, extremely unlikely, and certainly not over a widespread area. Could we see a foot of snow in parts of Iowa? Absolutely. But right now, because of the nature of these models, the best guess is that could be isolated right now. That could be isolated pockets of a foot of snow, and we're too far out to even guess where that may be. So right now, the best advice is just about everybody in Iowa is going to be seeing several inches of snow. But when you talk about warning There we go. That's what I get for not updating all the maps here. Slowly but surely, we'll get these updated. There we go. Okay. I want to thank my dad for mentioning that, by the way. So this is what we're looking at right now. Still looking at winter storm watches likely to overspread the area here. I'm just going to double check quick and see if the Weather Service in Des Moines is going to go ahead and do that now, or if they're going to go ahead and wait for a little while. We do still have that wind advisory in effect. That may be factoring into their decision making. And it looks like for now they're not going to issue that watch. Let's see if they give any indication when they might do that. Weather Service says the same thing. The pattern and the system between the models looks very consistent. Still monitoring any potential track changes. Yeah, Des Moines says the same thing. An 80 to 90% chance of, or excuse me, a 75% chance of 8 inches or more of snow along and north of Highway 30. Along and north of Highway 30. So let's pop that map up here again. There you see the what I put down for snowfall forecast, and that's pretty much on the money. You could see the higher totals on those ranges in Des Moines as well. Some of this may have to be moved back further into southern Iowa if the shorter range models come in and agree with all this. But in terms of probabilities, these are the areas most likely to see these ranges of snow, and it could go higher, especially that 4 to 8 area, that southern edge of the 8+ area. That's where kind of the most uncertainty lies right now between the 2 waves of snow, one coming in from the northwest, one coming in from the west later on Saturday. But a 1-2 punch is going to feel like one storm, and basically it is one storm that will ultimately produce possibly double-digit totals in some isolated areas, maybe higher than that even. It just really depends on how this shakes out as we move through Friday overnight into Saturday and then Saturday night. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to share them in the chat. This has been a very calm and pleasant storm system to track because the models haven't changed all that much. The track hasn't changed. The timing hasn't changed much. The totals have really come into view and have been consistent between the models, which tells me that the expected moisture in the storm system is pretty consistent between the model runs and the different models. So could they all be wrong? Absolutely, but confidence is certainly much higher when the models are in agreement in the track, the timing, and even the snow totals as well. And we're seeing that as it's just coming into our shorter range models. And in those early stages of the storm, they're showing us the same thing that the other models are showing that are putting out very heavy snowfall totals across much of the state of Iowa by Sunday morning. So the bottom line is we're going to have a long duration event here beginning late Friday morning, early Friday afternoon in northwest Iowa. That's where the winter storm watch has already been issued. We'll go ahead and put that up here. Winter storm watch has already been issued for northwest Iowa. This will run until Friday morning, or excuse me, Friday afternoon until Saturday evening. 5 to 10 inches of snow possible in this area. National Weather Service in Des Moines, Quad Cities, and La Crosse and Omaha have not issued a winter storm watch yet. You can basically say that due to the timing of the storm, they have more time to kind of take a closer look, fine-tune their forecast before they decide who needs to go into that watch at that 48-hour window period. So by later tonight, definitely tomorrow morning, we're going to see that winter storm watch expand dramatically across the state of Iowa. And with snowfall beginning around midday on Friday in northwest Iowa by late tomorrow morning, definitely tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see winter storm warnings issued here in the state of Iowa. Again, for central Iowa, the snowfall will begin late Friday afternoon and push through the overnight hours into Sunday. And then for eastern Iowa, late Friday evening into Sunday morning, the snow will be falling. There will be wind with it. There will be blowing and drifting. Right now, We're not getting any indications of any blizzard criteria events, but any blowing and drifting of snow, this is going to be a colder, drier snow than what we saw recently across much of the state. This will not be as heavy and wet, and that means it will be more susceptible to blowing and drifting. And that will make things increasingly difficult on road crews that will be dealing with essentially a 48 to 60 hour winter storm event from west to east. So this is going to be a long duration event. It's going to be a heavy snow event, and it is going to make roads at times impassable across much of the state of Iowa. Especially those north-south roads are going to be more susceptible to blowing and drifting snow as it's falling. And that's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. So again, winter storm watch in effect for far northwest Iowa from Friday afternoon to Saturday evening. This will expand across the rest of the state over the next 12 hours or so. And right now, this is our best guess at the snowfall totals from northwest Iowa over into Illinois, covering most of eastern Iowa, areas along and north of Highway 30. 8 or more inches of snow appears very possible. The National Weather Service in Des Moines put the odds at more than 8 inches of snow for this area at 75%. That's pretty good. 4 to 8 inches further to the south and west, this heavier snow band could move further to the south. So Des Moines, you could still be on the higher end of this, but 4 to 8, I think, for now is a good range. Trace to 3 inches further to the south and west. And again, I think these numbers can still go up. But I think this is at least what you need to prepare for right now. And again, in all of these areas, travel at some period this weekend is going to be exceedingly difficult across much of the state of Iowa. Best thing you can do is if you can stay off the road Saturday and Sunday, please do that. It will help the road crews who are also then on the back end of this going to be fighting the bitter cold Sunday into Monday to try and get these roads cleared off before work, school, and other events on Monday morning. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to share them in the chat. We're still monitoring any new information that comes in. We do still have the wind advisory in effect for today. I did see one of my friends, meteorologist Nick Stewart, posted there was a 64-mile-an-hour wind gust in Cedar Rapids. So some intense winds out there. I think it woke me up a time or two last night. I don't know if any of you experienced any power outages or any damage from the wind, but it has been a pretty long wind event here as well, as we've seen winds in excess of 60 miles an hour at times with this advisory. But once the wind does die down, which it should over the next 12 to 24 hours, then attention is going to turn to Friday. Thanksgiving Day will be fine. Thanksgiving evening, if you're driving home, will be just fine. Friday morning should be fine for most of the state. Northwest Iowa, as we get closer to noon, is going to begin experiencing snow. And then through the afternoon hours, it's going to spread through the state of Iowa. Let's go ahead and pull that up again. We'll switch over to the model here and see. So here we are on, this is Friday afternoon, moving into Saturday, or excuse me, Friday afternoon, moving into Friday evening. This is Friday at around 6 o'clock. So again, if you're at the Hawkeye game in Lincoln, you need to get back to Des Moines, Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, I think you're going to be fine. But the clock's going to be ticking. By 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we could see snow moving into the Des Moines area and then quickly becoming heavy much later, maybe after 8 or 9 o'clock in eastern Iowa. So there will be time to get home. But if you're in northern Iowa, especially the Mason City area and points west, you're going to run into some very difficult travel conditions if you're driving home from the game. And it's really not going to get any better until probably Saturday evening or Sunday morning. And much later. So if you can stay off the roads, that's great. Friday, most of the day, most of the state should be fine. Northwest Iowa is going to be the biggest problem Friday afternoon. But if you need to get where you need to go Friday evening or Friday afternoon for most of central Iowa, I think you're going to be okay. And then eastern Iowa, probably until about 8 or 9 o'clock, I think you're going to be fine. But any late night travel, early morning travel on Sunday, say if you're going to services on Sunday morning, that's going to be a problem. This is 6 a.m. on Sunday. This is 9 a.m. on Sunday, and still some pretty moderate to heavy snow falling across eastern Iowa. There will be some blowing and drifting, so conditions will be quite poor Saturday through Sunday over much of the state of Iowa. Eventually, the system will get out of here. This is about noon on Sunday. Still some snow falling across eastern Iowa, which is just going to further complicate matters and getting the roads clear in time for Monday morning. But you can see the massive amount of precipitation coming with the storm system. And as we just showed you, that is giving us indications of some very heavy snowfall over a large portion of the state of Iowa. It would be curious to see those snow totals come in uh, and see if we get confirmation of these numbers. And that'll really depend on if the models are correct, not only on the timing and the track, but the intensity and the amount of moisture available. Because as temperatures are crashing in this storm, we're going to see that snow become lighter, drier, more easier to blow around, and that's going to be a big problem moving into Saturday evening and Sunday as the storm finally begins to exit the area. So there could still be some travel problems on Monday. I wouldn't plan on school being canceled yet. I wouldn't plan on any of that, but there could be some problems still in portions of Iowa on Monday, depending on the progress that road crews are able to make. So that is the latest. It looks like we're just going to have the one winter storm watch for now for far northwest Iowa. And that is the wrong map. There we go. Winter storm watch in effect from Friday afternoon to Saturday evening for northwest Iowa. We should see additional counties added to this, if not tonight, then first thing tomorrow morning. And then winter storm warnings will likely begin popping up either tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening for northwest Iowa, barring a major change in the track. We will also see, once we start seeing winter storm warnings being issued, we may see some fringe areas, far southwest Iowa, for example. Winter weather advisory may be issued. They're looking at lower snow totals, but also a possible issue with mixed precipitation as well, which could produce some slick conditions. But the main focus right now is the very heavy snowfall that we're expecting over a large area of the state of Iowa between Friday night and Sunday morning. If you have any questions, if you have any travel concerns that you have, share them in the chat. We'll try and answer them as best we can. And anything else you want to know about the snow this weekend, let us know. Otherwise, we'll probably start wrapping things up here shortly. We do still have that wind advisory in effect right now for much of the state of Iowa. There you see scrolling on the bottom of the screen, the winter storm watch that will go into effect Friday afternoon in northwest Iowa. And then we will see those winter headlines spread across the state as the snow moves closer to the area. The biggest question now is, as the storm system begins to take shape tomorrow and into Friday, will these snow totals hold? Will they move up? Will they move down? Will they shift in track at all? That's going to be our next big question mark right now as we move closer to this storm. We do plan on having live coverage. We will bring you all the latest information and the live radar, any live cameras like we have on the left side of your screen. Road conditions as well will be updated throughout the storm here. And we will continue to monitor the latest conditions as we move through the day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. Again, this is going to be the first major snow system over a large portion of the state of Iowa for the season. I know portions of northern and western Iowa did receive some heavy snowfall a while back. That was a very heavy and wet snow. This one won't be quite as heavy or quite as wet, which means this will be a much greater risk of blowing and drifting. So road conditions will not be ideal as the snow is falling, and it will not be ideal for a while once the snow stops falling, as some moderate wind gusts out there will cause problems. We don't expect any widespread blizzard conditions. That doesn't mean travel will always be possible. It may not. Some roads could become drifted in, some roads could become impassable, and it's really going to boil down to how quickly road crews can get out there and how much people can stay out of their way, because when cars end up getting stuck in the roads, that just slows everything down. And it is going to be a long duration event. Road crews are going to have a very, very busy weekend and then some to get this all cleared out of here. Okay, I don't think we have any new models coming in right now. Let me double check. Not sure how far in this is. Nope. GFS is just starting to come in, so. I'm going to flip back to one of our higher res models here. Now this one doesn't cover the entire time frame of the storm, but it does show us one of the more higher resoluted models, what it's thinking for the initial hours. There you see the snow moving in. This is noon on Friday. And pushing into the afternoon hours, you see that snow overspreading the area and then reaching the Des Moines area probably between 6 and 8 o'clock at night. So hopefully that will give people enough time to get home before the brunt of this hits. If you're traveling to the Hawkeye game, if you're trying to get back to Des Moines, Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, points east, I think you'll be fine. But by between 6 and 9 o'clock, we're going to see that heavy snow really develop in central Iowa, move its way east, and really overspread the area. This is just the first wave. This is Friday night into Saturday morning. And then by late Saturday morning, we're really not going to get a break, but we could see the snowfall rates let up for a bit. And then we're going to see another wave push through the state. And that is why we are looking at those significantly high snow totals, especially for areas along and north of Highway 30 in central and eastern Iowa. We'll keep going here for a few more minutes. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to share them in the chat, and we'll try and get those answered for you. This is certainly going to be a widespread event. It's not going to be just Iowa. It's going to be a good chunk of Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, all facing significantly heavy snowfall. Quad Cities right now pinning its highest snow totals for areas along and north of Cedar Rapids, between Highway 30, Highway 20. They're putting that as the highest risk for more than 6 inches of snow. Des Moines putting it as high as more than 8 inches for areas along and north of Highway 30. The risk of that at 75%. So very significant winter storm system. Fortunately, not happening on Thanksgiving, but any Black Friday plans, plans to go to the Hawkeye game in Lincoln, not impossible, but the travel home, depending on where you are, could be a little problematic. I think the bulk of people going to the game will have time to get home, but not going to want to take too many breaks, unfortunately. By Saturday evening, most of the state will be experiencing light to heavy snowfall, and it will continue through the overnight hours. We could see it ease up a bit Saturday morning, but then another wave moves in Saturday morning and afternoon, and we could see more heavy snowfall. And by Sunday morning, this is what we could see across the state of Iowa. And these, depending on what the next 24 hours of model runs show, these might be some conservative snow totals. And I err on the side of caution because these are very large areas. And if we start forecasting a foot of snow, I think that's going to be in pockets in very isolated areas where we see very heavy snowfall rates develop over small areas. And just don't think it's worth doing that. I think 8+ is the best right now in that area. More than 10 inches of snow is very possible. More than a foot of snow is going to be possible in isolated areas for sure. But more than 8 inches, I think once you get to 8 inches at that point, it's a lot. I mean, now you're talking about probably having to make several passes in your driveway and your sidewalk. And because this is a long duration event, it is going to be a pain for area road crews. I can tell you, I live on a road that is far from a priority here in Marion. It's not a through street. So when we have events like this, I don't plan on them coming down our street until it is over. So in my household, we'll be preparing to kind of hunker down for a couple of nights and try and avoid having to go out and about if at all possible. There you see the winter storm watch that has been issued. We don't have any other watches being issued right now. The Weather Service in Des Moines, Omaha, Quad Cities, La Crosse, holding off on that because they have time. They want to take a look at some more model runs. So we could see the winter storm watch expand tonight. If we don't, we absolutely will see it before sunrise tomorrow. And by tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, we should see a winter storm warning be posted for portions of northwest Iowa, if not more, because the Weather Service is going to want to get the word out as early as comfortably possible, as people are not going to be in their usual routines. They're going to be out traveling, out visiting. And so staying up to date on the forecast in the days ahead is going to be critical with any minute changes that may happen. And we can certainly hope that maybe these snow totals won't be nearly as high as right now we think they're going to be. All right, well, not seeing any questions, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I apologize for the audio problems off the beginning. We're kind of building some new templates here for winter weather purposes, and I just forgot to add an audio layer on a bunch of them. That's all been taken care of. We'll see if we need to do another update tonight. If not, we'll definitely do one tomorrow. And we will probably begin some live coverage either Friday morning or Friday afternoon as the snow begins falling in Northwest Iowa. Until then, thanks for joining us, and we will see you back here soon on the channel.